I feel like I've done the ghosting.
You've done the ghosting.
Why?
I don't know, it's like depends on my mood, I guess. It's like, today I don't feel like socializing. I'll just shut off what I have. And you like scroll down and check, oh yeah. It's like 2 weeks ago. I was like,
Oh no.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about your personal journeys as well as your opinions on dating, marriage, and of course, the big L, love. Do you guys think that Singapore is a conducive place for dating?
I think it's quite conducive.
Really?
Yeah, we are very densely populated. It's very easy to go out and meet people. There are dating apps, then there are interest groups you can join.
But this is something that I've noticed growing up in Singapore. We don't have that kind of approach mentality that a lot of Westerners have. I mean, it's not like you go to a bar and a guy's gonna walk up to you like, hey, you know, like, how it's alien in Singapore. Yeah. It's absolutely alien.
So have you ever gone up to a girl in a bar and said, hey?
When I was in poly, right, I saw this video online and it was how to talk to a girl on the tube. And I tried to talk to random girls at the poly bus stop. 3 attempts.
Poly bus stop.
Yes. 2 of them were like, no, don't talk to me. But one of them, we had such a wonderful conversation. We even boarded the same bus. We got to the same interchange. We talked like, what course do you study and all that. And it was, what?
He's cringing so much.
The
introvert is coming
You got a problem with my method?
When guys do that to me, usually I just entertain them to be polite.
She's like, she's
I just
one
don't
of
want
the
to be
two.
mean, you know.
But I forgot to ask for her phone number. It was so dumb. It was like, we got to the train, it's like, oh, you're going this way, I'm going this way. Oh, okay, bye, nice talking to you. I'm curious as well, like, ladies, in Singapore, have you guys been approached by men before?
We know Janelle's response.
Oh, yeah.
How the reaction.
It looks very traumatic.
It's very traumatic.
Really?
I mean, I have, but the only interaction I ever had with a guy coming up to ask me was when I was very young. Like, it wasn't even poly, it was secondary school.
Oh, wow.
And it was, at the time I was already attached. The common thing was just, sorry, I got a boyfriend, then I just walk away.
So, just now I was asking about how conducive Singapore is,
Yeah.
right? So according to the survey, the most popular reason for people not dating is that they have a limited social circle.
Oh, that's very true, yes.
Would you say that's
Yes.
true?
It's not just that they have a limited social circle, it's that they do not want to tarnish whatever social circle they already have. I'm in my 30s and you date someone in your job scope, your colleague, in your environment. If anything goes south, it's super awkward, it's terrible.
So you met your boyfriend when you were 15, in school I assume. So do you think school is a good place to start dating?
Wow, okay, I don't know if I'm the right person to ask this because I don't want to say that young kids my age, back then 15 should be dating. But if you're talking about like in poly and all that, I think it's the best time to meet somebody. You have your CCAs, you have all your FOC camps.
Yeah, I think dating in school is a good idea. Because in school, right, there's no pressure for like the solely romantic relationships to occur because you're there for school, you're not there to date. So there's actually a greater chance for the relationship to flourish in an organic manner. You know, they can make excuses to interact with whoever they want. Like, can I copy your homework? Can I borrow your homework? I buy you bubble tea because you let me copy your homework. That kind of thing.
What about you guys? Do you think that school is a good time to start dating, or what age are we looking at?
I feel like it's a good start to like test your Riz. I don't know. Riz as a kid, and then I think you learn from your mistakes, and then poly is when you like, I know how to do it now.
The A game.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to start young. Make your mistakes young, you know. It's sad when you see like a guy in his 30s and he can't talk to women, you know what I mean? Because you laugh, but it's true. You laugh, but it's true.
To be honest, I wish I had done that because I was very, in secondary school, I didn't really date around. Once a girl said that she liked me, I was like, pack it in, boys, let's go home. She likes me, and I didn't do anything about it.
You didn't do anything about it?
It happened twice in secondary school, and then when she moved on, I was all like, so heartbroken, but really it was just my fault. I didn't have any practice of this, and I took it all the way into like poly, which is kind of late already, right? I feel like, you should get some practice in,
Absolutely.
so you kind of know what you want, what you don't want, what works for you, what doesn't. I don't know, I feel like secondary school is a good time. Maybe after O-levels, settle that first. Yeah.
For me, I went to JC. Like you would think that, okay, now is the time, right? But everyone's too busy studying. There's no time. Everyone's just focused on studying. Like, no one's even looking at each other at this point.
It's back to the question about whether it's conducive
Yeah,
for Singapore,
exactly.
right? Because we put so much emphasis on academics,
Yeah.
right? Like all the stress is just tunneled to like academic.
And also we have our parents, right, who are saying focus on school. So for yourself, what did your parents tell you when you started dating when you were 15?
Okay, I'd like to add on that I'm from a single-sex school. So I met my boyfriend online through another friend. Just so happens that our school was nearby each other. So I did not tell my mom until 1 year later. Until 1 year later that I like, hey, he asked me to be his girlfriend. I gotta ease it in. Yeah.
So this was after O-levels are done.
Yeah.
Okay, so you clear that first,
I
right?
clear that
So like,
first.
I've earned enough good girl points. Can I go out with my
Go
boyfriend?
out with my boyfriend now.
But that is a very sweet story though. So if you don't catch the bus in school, then it's the workplace. How do you guys feel about workplace romance?
I personally wouldn't recommend it.
Not a good idea?
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea? Your
I feel.
thoughts?
There's this saying, right? Don't poop where you eat. Right? Isn't that yeah, I think that's the saying, right?
I mean, you don't even have to be dating, right? If you make an
Yes,
and
exactly.
it's not reciprocated,
That's why I feel like school is a lot safer to do it because you have all these different classes that you change.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like you're there.
It's always next door.
And there's always next semester, right?
Do you think this is very different from our parents' time?
Oh, for sure.
Very different.
Definitely.
For sure,
Definitely.
for sure.
Do you think it was easier for them though? Like dating around?
It's not that the expectations are lower, but it was a lot simpler.
Dating in today's situation, what are some of the new trends that we have noticed today that our parents probably didn't have? Or maybe they had, but there wasn't a name to it.
I mean, a situationship.
Oh yes. Now can explain it to us because I have no idea.
So you would say that you're dating then?
I'd say like put it in simpler terms. It's like you don't know if the person really wants to date you because you get like mixed signals. you
Wait,
know?
wait, so is it like a one-sided thing?
It's like a two-sided thing in a way. Like you also kind of don't want to show too much.
So you flirt, but you don't want to commit.
Yes, that's a way to put it. Yes.
Is that not just dating?
But
though?
you
Is that not just dating?
No, but actually they don't want to establish that it's dating.
When you guys like go out with each other, you do things that friends shouldn't really do. You know, like get too physically close, say stuff like that's very clingy in a way. You know, that you should say in a relationship, and then sometimes there's like days where like, oh, what up, bro? You know,
That's cold.
right?
Yeah, when a girl calls you bro, right, it's like, damn.
So we don't have her here, we have you.
Okay.
What's holding you back from telling her like,
What are we?
Stick eye mine.
I guess yeah, like it's the commitment. There are red flags that you see from like that person, but then you're like, I kind of like the attention.
Suddenly colorblind.
there are red flags so you don't want it to be serious, you don't want to commit to it, but you like it enough to keep it around.
Yes, yes.
So where does this end?
Honestly, I have no idea. In my opinion, I kind of like the attention, you know, but wouldn't want to date her. But it's like 50-50.
Maybe it's a game of like who falls first.
Emotional chess. Have any of you heard of these other terms like breadcrumbing?
No.
What?
What is
that?
Is this a new thing, like on
Hansel,
TikTok?
Hansel and Gretel, Hansel and Gretel kind of thing.
So if I'm not wrong, breadcrumbing is when they drop little hints
Oh
of
my god.
what they want, and then you are just like, you know, figuring out where this
So it's just
trail
hints,
leads to.
right?
So this is coming from like a very historical standpoint, right? Back then, it was always the women who gave the guy the permission
Right.
to approach. Imagine you drop the handkerchief, that kind of thing.
Wow, that's
No, that's old school. That's old school. But like that's how it all comes about, right? It's kind of like what you said as well. Like, hey, after study, want to go bubble tea or not? You know, that kind of thing. It's that handkerchief drop. You know. So hints and breadcrumbing, I don't think it's anything inherently wrong.
Is it a bad thing or a good thing?
Oh, it's a bad thing.
Oh, it's a bad,
Oh.
it's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing because it's not clarity. You're dropping hints, you are doing boyfriendy things, but not really behaving like a, you know.
Sounds like very situation.
Situationship right there.
But I guess the difference is that this is one-sided. Yeah. And I'm sure you guys have heard of like ghosting.
there's no such thing as ghosting back then.
I beg to differ. Like, honestly, back then, you get stood up.
Oh yeah, that's IRL ghosting.
A lot of guys trauma dump on me.
Oh my god.
What's trauma dump?
Like when you meet someone, right, and like you barely know them, but you start telling them about all your childhood, like trauma, details you don't really talk about with someone, and it keeps going on and on.
We can ask Janelle how it started.
When I talk to somebody, I want to know more about their character. Then I ask them a lot about their life. Then I guess they feel comfortable and then they open up. So technically, I don't mind lah. It's okay. Like I listen to your life story. You entertain me. I entertain you.
After that, do they feel like they are closer to you since they've opened up so much already? Does that happen?
I do not know because the conversations usually die off.
Oh, yeah, they dump
So
and
they
then
dump
they
and
leave.
then,
Oh my
then they
God.
go.
I mean, it's okay lah.
Oh, you
As
need to
long
up
I was
your-
a
you need to
listening
up your
ear, I'm
expectations.
happy to help.
Let's up the.
And I'm also not looking for anything, so
Right.
best situation.
Okay.
I feel like I've done the ghosting.
You got the ghost thing, so we can ask all our questions to the ghost.
Why?
Why? Why?
I don't know. It's like it like depends on my mood, I guess. Today I don't feel like socializing. I'll just shut off all the apps, and then like it keeps going on a cycle. It's like 1 day, then 3 days, a week.
That explains
From
it.
what I've heard, you need to slowly distance
Disappear.
yourself.
Are you trying to do it to cut them out, or are you just
Naturally,
not not responding?
I guess in a way, it's like I got nervous. It like depends on many reasons. I get nervous. I don't feel like talking right now. And then when those two reasons happen at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot to reply to you. And you like scroll down and check, oh yeah. It's like 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
As dating become increasingly casual and less committal.
I think the non-committal aspect kind of stems again from social media in a sense. Because people are always finding new icks, new red flags that they've never thought of before, right?
Targeting you.
Yeah. No. That was not my intention, but
All right, man.
like you don't realize it at first. So you thought like, okay, all past green flags already. And then suddenly you just see something online. Now you see it in the person. Then you realize that, oh, maybe I shouldn't commit so fast.
I guess it's also because if you're dating around, if I were to go on a dating apps, I'm just swiping away. Something doesn't work, even the slightest inconvenience is like, there's always the next one. There's always the next one, right? All right, so now we've got a little game of romantic expectations versus reality. So red flag, no go, deal breaker. Beige is neither here nor there, and the green is something that you guys are cool with. Okay, number one, your partner earns more than you. Okay. Number two, your partner is more of a spender than saver. Ooh. See, suddenly not so fast, huh?
Suddenly not so fast, yeah.
Interesting.
Oh wow. Oh, that's same.
Okay, Janelle, why?
I think if I were to have a partner, I would want somebody who is more in control of their finances and they'll put away cash for a rainy day.
Chinman, do you also have a red flag?
I gather what you're trying to say, as in like the person is a little bit more financially irresponsible. So I think that's kind of where I would draw the line, because earn more than me or whatever, but spend within your means, right?
Okay, so I'm on a beige because for me it's like if you earn say 10K, you put aside say 3K, right? But if you earn 12K, you can spend more as long as you still are able to put aside 3K, no? So that's why I'm like, okay, if you earn more, you can afford to spend more as long as you can still save the minimum amount that you should save. Yeah. Are we in agreement
Yes.
on that?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Your partner has a poor relationship with their family. We're all beige.
I mean, it depends on why, right? It could just be like you can't, like, your parents don't understand you, or like there's a fallout. It doesn't necessarily mean that they won't be a good family man, or like they won't want to take care of their family.
And it tends to be the case, right, where, especially in these days, where we identify like generational trauma and we're like, okay, look, something has to change here. But I mean, when people are so set in their ways, they're not going to change, and then you become the problem, and the only way to deal with it is to remove yourself from the situation,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
I guess it's more of like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Maybe? Or like,
yeah.
Like I trust you, whatever reasons you have. Yeah.
or like maybe it's like accepting without asking.
Yeah.
Beige is more like, I want to know more.
Okay, the last question. Your partner tries to change something about you. Dun, dun, dun.
Everyone gotta be the beige flag, man.
dun.
Everyone's gotta be the
Why are you just
beige
going
flag.
beige? Are you gonna
I
go
will break
beige?
the trend. Break the trend.
Wow.
So I think that, okay, no one should try to change someone, right? If there's something about yourself that needs to change, maybe you're always late, maybe your sleeping schedule sucks. Someone who loves you should love you through it, voice their concerns, of course, and then you will change if you want to with that support. 5 of you disagree. So,
If you're together with somebody, you should make an effort to change and grow together. And if somebody tries to change me, that just means he's concerned about me.
that's a very optimistic way of looking at things, though.
Yeah, you see it as like a,
It's a form
like
of
it's coming from a good place,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So you should definitely open your mind when you're in a relationship with somebody.
If there was a very big issue that you can't support them through it as they change and improve and grow, would that be a deal breaker?
Sometimes the better result is that maybe you guys are better off without each other.
Yeah.
Because it's just not a match, right?
Yeah,
For sure.
Do you guys think that Singaporeans have high expectations of romantic partners?
I think we do have high expectations for our partners because we are fundamentally an Asian society and we place a lot of value on success. So I think an average Singaporean would maybe want a partner with a uni degree or a promising career. But at the same time, right, I find that when I talk to like my interns, the values are changing. The youth, they just want to vibe, you know. As long as the vibes are right, then it is right. Yeah.
On that note, right, I feel like the vibe, it feels very innocent, but when things get very serious, you start to realize like, oh boy, the vibe was all fun and games at the start, right? But that's not what it takes to have a fulfilling, long-lasting, and healthy relationship.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other components that go into it.
Expectations, I think it comes from, like, you know, you watch all your K-dramas, your C-dramas. There's that expectation of like, oh, this is what like I would like a guy to do, but it's very simple things. It's like pulling up my chair for me, like coming to fetch me after work, that kind of small things. It's not saying that, oh, it's like the guy must forever always 100% always be there, which is very unlikely for adulting life.
But what if they're oblivious to it?
Right?
Clarity is kind.
Yeah.
Pull out my
That's how I
chair.
say it. Yeah.
Open my door.
A lot of people like, oh, I don't want to have to ask for it.
It ruins the magic,
That's what a lot
doesn't
of people
it?
say.
Yeah.
But that's also not open communication. The whole idea of like, oh, my partner should know.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
so-
so
Nobody will
detrimental.
know what you want.
So
Yeah.
detrimental. It's funny that you brought up K-dramas, right? Because I was going to ask, how has media affected your dating expectations?
I am generally not very interested in dating, but when I watch all these shows, I'm like, oh, I also want like some oppa to hold an umbrella over me while it's raining and I'm crying or something like that. It makes me feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also know it's super unrealistic. And so if I do go on a date, then probably I'll be disappointed.
And also because nowadays, social media, where people are not TV characters, right? But they kind of emulate these things. You're scrolling through your phone, you're like, wow, this couple is just traveling and they're so in love.
Okay, I think that's the beauty of like the new gen media outlets, right? Like TikTok. For me, I like to see like the raw side of things. So I watched one video where this couple went through like their first pregnancy, and she actually showed like all the behind the scenes of how much effort it takes to get back to where she is, and how much her husband helped her along the way.
You know how TikTok, they show everything.
Yeah.
Everyone's thoughts and opinions are there. After like scrolling through and looking at all these advices and how people grow their relationships, like, okay, now I have more expectations.
But thankfully, we have something more transparent. Like, we are moving away from the glamorized, romanticized version of relationships. We have got one final question. After this conversation, do you guys feel like love can wait?
Man,
I mean, yeah, sure, you can wait. There's no right or wrong time to love.
Spoken from a man's point of view, women have the biological clock, you know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
A lot of women are struggling with that.
If you're talking from where I am in my life right now, I don't think we should wait. Like he mentioned, it's like biological clock, right? Like by 30, by right, women should start having kids if you don't want to have any problems with your kids down the future. So if you backtrack, you need to get a house by a certain age and get married by a certain age. So that is why women cannot.
But that's okay. That's if you want. That's if you want kids.
That is true.
That's
That's if you want kids.
If you don't want kids, then I guess you don't have to stress.
My girlfriend is 2 years older than me. Because she wants kids, I want kids too. We have to face the reality of stuff like that.
I don't know, I suppose I'm in a camp where like, yeah, love can wait, and in fact, you should wait because I would much rather be happy single, focus on that. The more you know who you are, the more you're happy being single, you'll attract someone who fits you, right? And adds to your life rather than, takes away from it.
Yeah, love
Yeah,
can wait.
love can
if
wait.
it comes, it comes. Don't have to settle. And there are a lot of people who only get married in their 40s and 50s after they found somebody that they want to be with for the rest of their lives. And currently, I'm living my best life. I have so many hobbies and interests to pursue. Love can wait.
Do you think for Singaporeans, most of us prioritize the career?
I think from what I've seen.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
most
yeah,
people,
I mean, 100%.
Or do you feel like you're prioritizing your career? Or is it something a bit more complex where,
Oh, like I'm preserving my
Energy.
emotional
Yeah.
energy. If you add more people into my life, how can I give all of them energy? How can I be a good friend or a good partner or a good daughter? So yeah, I'm not prioritizing a relationship right now, also because more people means more problems.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to watch Love Delayed, a 2-part series where we discuss the delays in dating and find out why young people are hesitant to get married and start a family. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and watch more videos on CNA Insider.